Ooh, yakety Mac.
Hey there, y'all. Welcome to Yakety Mac. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you all watching. It really means a lot to me. If you've not seen my channel before, I encourage you to follow along, subscribe. I am a new bass fisherman learning this sport and documenting my successes and failures along the way. So I try to have some good fun with it, and I certainly encourage feedback from y'all. So guys, I am headed to a body of water that you've not seen me on before. Actually, a few bodies of water. The local Porch Creek tribe here has a nature reserve on sovereign land. It's a campground, outdoor recreation place, and they've got some really nice freshwater lakes in there. They're not real big, but they're also not they're not highly pressured either. So I typically do pretty well when I come up here camping. Of course, it's only on top water. So I'm really excited about today, hoping some numbers will be there just so that I can get some more experience under my belt, more looks at what a bite looks like, more feels. So I'm highly optimistic. I hope it's not a letdown. But anyway, I'm about 30 minutes out, and then we're going to get this kayak in the water and give this thing a try. I'll see you here in just a bit, guys. All right, guys, we're on the water. I am so excited. These waters just do not see a lot of pressure. Now, I've never caught anything of any size out of here. Most of it's all been, between 10 to 14 inches, which seems to be my specialty, right? But numbers usually come from here. I do pretty well when I come camping here. And again, that's just throwing top water. So I'm anxious to see what I can do with some soft plastics. I've got all soft plastics once again. I have 3 Texas rig and a swim bait. Man, I got a lot of energy and a lot of optimism. Let's hope it pays off, guys. Okay, guys, let's get it started. So this right here is what I'm throwing. And this is what I was throwing pretty much all day in the last video. So obviously I've got a little bit of confidence behind this particular lure, but also I think it's just kind of the right size and the right color and presentation for what I'm doing today in these lakes. So I'm gonna have to contend with some wind. That's just the way it is this time of year. It's just front after front. And right now we're kind of in the upper 50s. It might be about 60. I think the high today is supposed to be somewhere in the mid 60s. I am really hoping to put 3 or 4 fish in the boat today. Not only do I have to learn how to fish, but I've got to learn how to tournament fish. And so having that practice, putting a fish on the board, caring for the fish while I'm prepping my phone to take a picture and all that sort of stuff, I've got to practice that. The fishing I have done previously, what little bit of it I have done, you catch a fish, you look at it for a second, and you put it back in the water and move on to the next. But with tournament fishing, you've got a few more things that you've got to do. I need to practice measuring. I need to practice how I'm holding the fish on the board to make sure that I am within the rules. This little pocket right here is a little deeper than I thought it was going to be. It's about just under 5 foot. I'm honestly not sure how bass got into this lake. When I first started coming here camping about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I asked them, what type of fish were in these lakes, and they stock it with channel cat, bluegill, and shellcracker. And I'm not exactly sure what a shellcracker is. I think it's like a bluegill on steroids. So I asked about bass, and she said that people have said they've caught them out of here before, but they don't stock them. So I remember fishing them and caught one. Couldn't have been more than about 9 or 10 inches long on a popar, And so ever since then, I've been fishing for bass out of here, and I do usually get some pretty good numbers. I got him. I got him. All right. Look at that, guys. That's a pretty decent one. That's the best one that I've caught so far on soft plastic. I did feel that bite. So, all right, I'm going to get a measurement on him. Man, that was nice. That is nice. Put him back in the water here on my fish grips while I get everything ready. All right, so this is exactly what I meant by tournament practice. I'm having trouble now getting my catch board out, so I need to make it more accessible. Prep my phone. So it's important for me to get the fish back in water as quickly as possible. You know, I'm out here for sport, so I want to make sure that I am respecting the fish, treating it as, the best that I can, getting it back into the water as quickly as I can with as little discomfort as I can. Come here, fella. So the rules in this club that I'm going to be fishing these tournaments in is that the mouth has got to be closed. Come on now, close your mouth. Oh, what you got your mouth? And your hand cannot be, your hand has to be behind the gills. Looks like he's going to go 13 1/4, guys. We are pretty fish. And away he goes. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome, guys. Wow. Wasn't here long at all. So I wonder if I felt that fish because he was bigger than the others that I've caught. I'm wondering if that's why I felt that bite. You know, as opposed to just seeing the line move. I felt the bump, and then I saw the line move at the same time. But I'm wondering if size. So the question that I have is you know, let's say you get a 2-pound fish, are you more apt to feel that bite than you would, you know, on something like a 12-inch fish? I'll tell you one thing, I sure do like taking a single hook out of a fish much better than I do treble hooks. You know, sometimes the way the treble hooks get into them, I feel so bad. I'm trying to be as delicate with the fish as I can. You know, so I do like that aspect of this style of fishing. This looks very fishy. Very fishy. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Here, fishy, fishy. Well, doggone it, guys. You know, I caught that bass within my first, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes on the water. And, you know, the whole reason I picked this lake was because I felt like I could get some numbers. By numbers, I meant, you know, hopefully 3 or 4. I've not had another bite since. It is now going on noon. I got on the water about 9:40. So I'm going back to where I caught that first one. I worked my way all the way to the other end of the lake. Seemed kind of dead down at the other end. It was really shallow. Fish finder wasn't showing anything at all. Not that I really use the fish finder for anything really other than depth, but I do like it if it shows me some fish on there. Even though I have no idea what kind they are, it at least shows me that there's some life and some activity right around there. So I'm not necessarily frustrated, but I am a little bit surprised that I haven't had another bite even. So I'm going to keep trying at this, and my hope was to get some repetition, and that's not been happening for me. I need the practice, but I'm going right back to where I caught the other one and trying to throw in that area a little bit more and see what I can do. All right, so one of the things that has plagued me ever since I took up fishing again and trying to learn this sport, this species, is that I have a tendency to stick with a lure because I believe it should be working, even when it's showing me that it isn't. And I think that was compounded so far today because I caught that one fish early. And so, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's what they want. And yet I've not had another bite all day. So I'm going to make a move. I'm hesitant. One of the reasons I was hesitant to do this is because, from everything I've read and kind of watched is that, the advice is that come wintertime, which basically this is, you want to downsize your baits. And that particular one that I was using, that 4-inch, is really the only color and style that I have in that bait. And so I am switching it up. I think this is a 5-inch now. And let's get it in here, see if you can see that. That's what I'm going to go with now. I've got to get it out of my mind that what should be working versus what is working. Boy, I thought for sure there were going to be more fish to come today. I just knew it. And it's amazing about perspective. 2 weeks ago, had I caught just one, well, actually it did happen 2 weeks ago, roughly. I caught one fish, itty bitty fish, on soft plastic, my first one ever, and I was over the moon. And so today I did the same thing, caught one fish on soft plastic, and I'm madder than hell. It's like, because I just, and that's the thing about expectations, right? And I set my expectations pretty high because these lakes are just not heavily fished. I knew some bass were in here, and they're fairly small, so I'm like, you got nowhere to hide. But I just couldn't get anything else, not a single bite. I mean, I think I maybe had a bite back over here, but now I'm starting to doubt that as well, given that it was, like a double thump sort of thing. So, man, I was sure hoping for more. I was actually, to be honest with you, I was kind of expecting more. Maybe I set myself up that way. Guys, I do appreciate you watching. I'll keep back at it. We're in this pattern right now where fronts are coming through on the weekends. And so I don't work on Fridays. So I try to get out here and do this a lot on Fridays. And it seems like every Friday into Saturday, Sunday, we have these fronts come through, and then they move out usually by Sunday evening. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is, post-frontal, and by Thursday, Friday, another one's on its way. And it's so aggravating. It's like, why couldn't these fronts come in on Monday? Why do they keep coming in? So the wind, we're ahead of another front coming in. The wind just blowing me all over the place. So it made it hard to maintain. Not that that's a reason I didn't catch fish. I just kept repositioning myself and throwing out there. But it was frustrating to say the least. Just trying to keep the kayak straight. And you know, this thing does great. I love having the pedal unit because I can reposition myself even as I'm casting and retrieving to some degree. But still, it's a plastic boat, and it's you know, it's going to get blown around. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. This channel could use you, and we could use some better fishing too. But hey, we'll get there, right? Guys, thank you again. I do appreciate you as always. Like, subscribe, comment, share, please. What do you think about changing the channel name to, you know, One Fish Wonder or something? This is the 3 videos in a row where I have caught one fish. I don't know how much more I can talk about one fish. One fish. We're going to get there, guys. I know we're going to get there. Damn it, we got no choice. February is going to come, you know, whether we're ready for it or not. Thank you again. I appreciate you all. And until next time, make sure you take time to get outside and play.